it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK. Do remember that if you need to order any Stampin' Up products, you can do that through my online store, which is linked below in the description bar. So this is the card that I'm making today, and there is a reason behind this. This is, technically it would never be a UPS man, because I gather that they're not allowed to have, well, they have to be clean shaven. However, it's my interpretation of a UPS man using the You Always Deliver stamp set. I think it's one of the most overlooked stamp sets in the annual catalogue, but it could be for all sorts of reasons. And don't just think, you know, I mean, it's mailman. I've seen people turn these into medics, which obviously at the moment is really important. All sorts. We've got sending you birthday wishes from far away, perfect for the moment. If you are a demonstrator, we've obviously got where Get Excited, Your Order is Here, but that could be if you are a Tropic ambassador or any of those other, you know, online ordering services, so multi-level marketing things, where your order is here is quite an important thing to say, and you can say thank you very much for your order. So here we are, thank you for your order. Your order is here. Delivering lots of positive thoughts, brilliant for the moment. Get excited, why not? Deliver sunshine your way, brilliant. And the one that I've used today is You Always Deliver. So let me show you this a little closer up. There is a little sneaky trick that I'm going to show you as well. But I'm doing this on the Stamparatus because by using the Stamparatus means that I know that I'm going to get my positioning absolutely ping on. And if I want to make more than one, then that's even better. So I have got, I thought I had, I've got some Whisper White that I've already, this is actually thick Whisper White. This is a scrap that I had. I'd obviously die cut a frame. And this is the bit from the middle with the stitched rectangle dies. So I suddenly realised I had a little collection of them and really wanted to use them. So I am using them. Okay, let's pop the stamp set just there, because that's the perfect height for keeping the plate flat, which means it's nice and easy to ink up. So this is my chap. So flip it over and just work over the stamp. Now I have, because this is a photopolymer stamp, I've got my pad in my Stamparatus. I've got the deluxe pad, which has got the grid paper on it, and I say grid paper, it's got a grid on it, so it helps me know whether things are square or not. But it comes, the Stamparatus comes with a pad that works perfectly well as well. Just clean that off so that when I turn over, I don't end up getting inky fingers because I forget that that one's dirty, because it's not. And just ink up the parcels. And ooh, just got away with the magnet being that close. No, I may have to move that magnet. The magnets are about the same depth as the stamps, so it does mean that it doesn't let the plate give, but as you can see, it was already inked up enough to finish off the stamping. So that is that. Let me just clean that. This is why I keep my, why I've cut my chamois up, because it makes it much easier to clean stamps for your Stamparatus. So let's just take that plate off and pop it there, and then I can move it out of the way and get started on the colouring. Now the colouring, you can go as far or not as you want. Actually, while I think about it, I'll just finish off the stamping as well. As you probably know if you have seen any of my videos, when it comes to using blends, which is what we're going to do today, just thought it was fun having a little dog running out of the inside of my card. So yes, when I do any blends work, I always like to leave the image to dry properly for a while. The Memento is brilliant for blends. It's the perfect ink, but it does need to be absolutely, absolutely dry when you start introducing the blends. Otherwise they will smudge, purely because the ink's wet. So just to show you the inside, I've got my little dog there. So actually I'm going to start by colouring that in. So I've got dark soft suede, and actually I'm going to use a slightly different colour for his body, but this is dark soft suede, and then I used dark crumb cake before, and I thought I would try light crumb cake for this one. Change it up a wee bit, so he's more like a Russell Terrier colour, which one of my grandparents had a Russell Terrier, who I have to say ate all the furniture, or the legs of all the furniture. Not my grandparent, the dog. And although it was theoretically white and tan, it was never quite white. Bessie used to like rolling in all sorts of things. So there's my little Bessie, or my nod to Bessie. So for my chap, pop that there, I'm going to start with colouring his kind of face and arms and bits. So I've got the ivory blend. There's ivory and bronze, which are the two flesh colours. But I'm going for ivory on this one. And I have deliberately left his moustache and this bit just here, because his moustache I'm going to colour with a brown, and I just thought that dark petal pink was probably a better colour for his lips than ivory. Okay, so soft suede light. Oop, no, I want the other end. There are two ends to a blend. There's the bullet tip and the brush tip, and because this is fairly fine work and this is a new blend, I don't want too much ink coming out. And I like to work in small-ish areas. So pop that down, and then what I mean by small-ish is I'm then going to come in with my dark soft suede and add some of the shading before I go on to add colour anywhere else. So I'm just kind of following, a lot of it is just following where the lines are, and then think about where the shadow's going to fall, and then come back in with your light blend and blend that in. And the key, and the reason I like doing a smallish area, is that if the ink is still a little bit wet from the first layer, it helps blend the next layer. So that's got some nice shading going. And then, whoops, so light. Now, some people just go straight in with their dark when they're doing shading. I tend to, on the smooth Whisper White, the one that you get 40 sheets of, but on the thick, which is what this is, I do like to layer up my my colours. So I start with the light, then put on the dark, and then go back in with the light. I just find it works better, and I think it's just because it's a different card. And I think if you used shimmer white, it would be different again. So that's that. Then for his, oops, I wanted this one again. So for his shirt, again, I'm going to work in small areas. So I'm going to do his sleeve and this bit of his shirt that's surrounded by bag strap. Then come in with where the shadow would be, so that's going to be where the strap is, where his sleeve is sewn on, underneath his sleeve. And then, oops, back in again. So the dimensions which I have used, just so that I can fill the time with some information, rather than you watching almost literally paint dry. I will have the dimensions over on my website, and there's a link to that, to this particular post, immediately below in the description bar. It's the associated blog post, so that is easy to find. Just literally click on the link. Actually, I decided I was going to have his collar just dark. So I'll do that now. And then the front of his shirt is relatively easy. In fact, I'll do that bit while I'm here. And then, again, just pop in the shade. So wherever there's going to be a shadow. And I really haven't bothered doing any shading in the small bit of his shirt up here. It's too small to worry about. Then hat. And again, we're going to add a little bit of shading. And while I'm here, I will colour his hair and his moustache. So yes, the measurements will be at the bottom of my blog post. That's where they always are. And then there'll be close-up photos, some more information, as well as some general chat on the blog post. So do go and have a look at that. As I say, that is linked immediately below. There'll be a list of all the products over on my blog post as well as below here. So I have listed all the, or will list all the products that I've used below in the post description bar even. Right, okay, so I now want grey granite because I want his bag to be grey granite, and I've deliberately used grey granite rather than soft suede because grey granite is a slightly warmer grey, so against the browns it's a better colour. So I'm just going to colour all of that because it doesn't take a huge amount of shading. And then put shadow under the flap and on the corners. And yeah. And then just add some more. And then if you want, you can then add some highlight. And I'm thinking that there is probably where the sun is hitting. So I put some colour lifter and that will then bleed out. The male I've done in just a light so saffron, just so that it stuck out really. So that was that. And then for the parcels, I'm basically using crumb cake. So the top one is just straightforward crumb cake. No more than that. The bottom one, Actually, I'm going to do the middle one first for a reason. So the middle one is going to be grey granite again. And I'm not going to colour all of it, because we want it to be a Stampin' Up box. And I know that Stampin' Up boxes are normally brown, but it's my project. I'm having them grey granite. Certainly in Europe they're brown. Don't know if they are everywhere else. Right, now the reason that I have left that is because we're going to actually get Stampin' Up in the middle. Let me just finish dark crumb cake, light crumb cake. Finish this box, and then I will show you how I did the Stampin' Up, because it's kind of fun. I have to say, if these are all full of heavy items, he's doing a jolly good job of carrying them all. I'm surprised they're not all falling over, actually. There is a smaller parcel, which is the one he's supposed to be carrying, but I wanted it to be a big parcel, so it is. It's literally, for shading, it's literally just where you think it's either going to have got dirty or knocked, or, you know, just generally not be quite as pristine as it was when it left the factory. And I think it's important, particularly at the moment, to say thank you to the people that we kind of are just, they're just doing their job, but without them we would be in a particularly difficult position. So, you know, the person at the checkout in the supermarket, the postman, those sorts of things. I think it's just nice to, this is light grey granite, I think it's just nice to appreciate them. The NHS are doing a wonderful, wonderful job, don't get me wrong, but they're not the only people that are doing an amazing job at the moment. Colour lifter. Now, colour lifter takes a while to actually do anything, so don't worry if it doesn't instantly do something. Dark crumb cake, light crumb cake are my last two colours. So, dark crumb cake. I particularly want there to be a shadow there. And then light crumb cake. Actually, I'm going to be rash and use the other end, because I want it to blend nicely. And this is just so that he's got something to walk on, because otherwise he looks a bit odd. And again, that will blend nicely. So can you see that has already faded? Now, this is washi tape. So in the annual catalogue, under the... Now, which one is it? It is... I know which one it is. Follow Your Art. I'm sure it's this one. I'm sure it is. Yes! The washi tape, one of the rolls of washi tape, is Stampin' Up, which is just brilliant. So I'm just going to trim the logo out of the middle. And it fits almost exactly onto that box. So there we go. Right, let us finish the card. I have changed up the designer series paper a wee bit. Basically, I've just reversed it. I say that. This was Sahara Sand rather than Crumb Cake. This is Crumb Cake and Soft Suede. I had assumed that this was Crumb Cake until I put it together, till I cut another piece and realised it wasn't. Half a sheet of crumb cake, just scored in the middle. You can do it short and fat if you would rather. Then what I'm going to do is add snail to the back of my smaller piece, and as I say, the dimensions for these will be over on my website. And then because this is script, it's quite important that it's the right way up. So this I'm going to have so that these corners are just off, and I'm not worried that it's not following the diagonal line. So we'll just do that, and then bring in this, and again I'm going to add snail. You could use liquid adhesive if you would rather, but I'm happy to use snail for this. And then I'll put another bit across the middle, and then this is going to go the other way. I think I already know I prefer the soft suede at the back better. And then this, I'm going to be really fussy. I've got a T rule because I want this to be straight. I don't mind everything else being crooked so long as this is straight. So I want dimensionals on the back. So pop those on, remove the backings. I'll sort that out in a moment. And then pop your T rule on. I mean, if you're not fussy like me about these things, actually let's get rid of that because it's going to be in the way, then it really doesn't matter if you are happy with things being crooked. But I'm not. Now I want to come down a bit more. I've got this at a more extreme angle than I had on the original. It's about right, and it's square. So there we go. All I need to do now is pop my liner in, which I will do with adhesive, and then we're done. So I hope you found that fun. Do think about giving, you know, what I would call the support staff a thank you. I have been handing out cards to people in the supermarket, you know, the cashier, the service desk, those sorts of things. Not that I've been going to the supermarket that often, because I haven't, because I don't need to. And they really appreciate it. I think, you know, just saying thank you. Let's bring back thank yous. So there we are, a little fun project with a little doggy on the inside. So I hope you found that fun. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Any questions or comments, leave those below. And as I say, if you want any products and you're in the UK, I would be absolutely bowled over if you would shop with me. It would be really helpful. I am self-employed. This is my business. So anything you can do to support me would be amazing. So thank you very much indeed. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon.